I remember the story when you were telling that of an old fella who sort of ruined my night one time. I might have told you this at some point. So I think, and I might be getting the details slightly wrong, but the chunk of the story is definitely accurate. I think I'd just done one of my first open spots at the Manchester store, and it had gone, I think it was like my third one, and it had gone noticeably a lot better than the first couple. So I'm on the train back from Piccadilly or Deansgate to Liverpool, and I'm all full of myself on the train. I'm like, yes, might be in there. I wasn't, but I was like, I might be in there.
It all means more when you're starting out. The bad gigs and the good gigs, they're like...
And I'm sat on the train, and I'm sat opposite and diagonally on a table. The other two seats are empty from this old fella. And I think my dad rang me, and he's like, how's it going? I was like, oh, it was great. And then the old fella goes to me, the old Scouse fella, he goes, so what do you do, kid? What do you do? And I was like, oh, and not like now or even normally under any circumstances back then, I would always say I work in a bar. Yeah. Like I just go, because you don't want the conversation. But I was like, I'm a comedian.
I've earned the right to tell people.
And he goes, right, okay, right. And he just went quiet again. And then about 2 minutes later, he goes, can you sing and dance? And I went, no. And he goes, yeah, no chance of making it if you can't sing and dance. And then said nothing else to me for the rest of the train journey.
And he now books a gig in Hull. Oh my God.
He just wants to ruin me. Can you sing and dance? No. I got no chance of making it. Can't sing and dance.
Thank fuck you still don't have to be like, oh, that shit's not working. Fly me to the moon.
But that's these fucking old cunts. That is what entertainment was back in the fucking day. Like you look at the old school comedians from like America, and it was entertainment. It was a bit of singing, and then they would fucking tap dance, and then they'd sing. God, I mean, nowadays stand up, and I want to speak for you two, but I can certainly speak for myself. It's my only talent. It's like there's nothing else in it. People often go, what would you do if you couldn't do stand-up anymore? And I'm like, I would have to break my own neck in the middle of the street because I wouldn't know how to live. I've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle where I can say what I want to anyone I want. I've got nobody above me, right? I just, if I got cancelled and it was all over, I'd have to go, I don't know how...
Yeah,
you can't go back. Once you're here, you can't go back.
I've always struggled in jobs for that exact reason, because even before I had the autonomy that this life has given me, I wanted it. So bosses would be like, can you go in the cellar and put the Corona where the Peroni is and put the Peroni with it? And I'd be like, why the fuck would I do that? No, I'm not doing that. And he's like, well, I'm actually a boss, so you've got to... And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Unless it makes sense to me, I'm not fucking doing it. Right. And then I'd get like written warning after written warning. Yeah, well, I'm not doing something just because you've decided it needs doing. You need to explain to me why this is a fucking necessary job. And
like, I can't even explain hierarchy to
you. They do. People love that question. What would you have done? What would you... There's two very different questions. What would I do now is so bleak and filled with so many arguments and like me just being like, I can't... Because we've gone so far down this road. Yep. 20 years I've been a stand-up. I've made my living for it. Not far off that. Now it's going well because of this. If this goes away and I have to get in a cubicle... I couldn't do it. I would be a murder. I would rather... Maybe me.
If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor.
Hey, Adam, you know that's a lyric from
It's a James song.
That's a song, isn't it?
It is.
That's mad right to say that because it just clicked something in my head.
And it's in the show with them.
Mental.
Yeah, just drive us off a bridge. Yeah. All of us.
Just
poor Finn nodding like...
Right through the whole I've put in the Runcorn Bridge.
He's young and wants to be a musician. Okay. But when you... Like, if I'd have never gone down this road...
You'd be fine.
Yeah, I'd be doing something else, trying to do something like this, probably.
If I hadn't found comedy, I would have been a fucking incel. 100%. This job made me meet people that I never would have met before, made me experience a life in a way that I never would have experienced before, and opened my... Man, I was an angry little fucking bigot when I was a teenager, and I've got no idea why. I had a very good upbringing. Like, I remember being an angry teenager, and my mum and dad were like, all we ever did was love you. Like, it's just...
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I think I'd seen other teenagers be angry, and I was like, well, I guess that's just what we all do. Aye, and then getting into comedy, you know, it teaches you, well, it fucking humbles you, because even though it gives you an ego, which you then have to like learn with the job how to keep in check as it inevitably gets.
I'll get there.
Bigger, yeah. We'll all get there. But no, man, like I was an angry fucking kid. Like I would have been I would have flown over for the fucking January 6th insurrection had I not found stand-up comedy. Like, I've got no doubt that that's
I
the
think
other
you
part.
give off vibes of someone who had like a fucking weed-selling empire by the age of 25, retired with 2 houses by the age of 30. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do now. 31 and twiddling my thumbs.